Hello and welcome back to my channel, Literary Lauren. This week we're going to be reading some of my most anticipated reads. These books have been released recently in the last month or so, and I have been absolutely wanting to pick these up. So I am very excited to get to them today. The first cab off the rank is Out on a Limb by Hannah Bonham Young. In the next clip, I'm going to be referring to Feeling Unwell. I am not going to include that video because I look so sluggish and tired, and I'm just going to introduce this book. I read this book in, I think, 2023 when I was on a trip to Malta when it was on Kindle Unlimited. And to say that I fell in love with the characters is an understatement. I read it in September and it quickly rose through the ranks as one of my favorite reads of that year. And I am so glad that it has been picked up to be traditionally published with a whole new cover, and that I picked it up and am going to be reading this book again. So technically this is a most anticipated release. It is a re-release and I've already read it before, but returning to this book was something that I definitely needed. And so without further ado, let's get into the next clip of me starting reading this book. As you would have seen, yesterday was not a fun day at work. Now, on my day off, I've started to feel sick. I think you can tell I look pretty pale, and all that I've wanted to do is lie in bed. So I have been doing like 1 hour stints of freelance graphic design work and reading. One thing has led to another, and I'm probably going to finish this book tonight. This book was healing me emotionally last night, and now it's healing me physically because I just love it so much and I love these characters, and I'm so glad that we are back. This could be like a yearly read for me. That's how much I love it. I want to memorize this book verbatim. I don't know that I told you what the book is about. We are following our main character, Win. She has a cheeky one night stand. What does this one night stand develop into? An accidental pregnancy. These two meet on the premise that they both have some sort of limb difference, and they meet at this party and have a one night stand. The whole first interaction is what hooks me into this book. As soon as I'm reading those first 5-6 chapters, I'm like, oh, I'm in this. I love them so much. They're just the banter is immaculate. Let's take a rough guess and say 75% of the way through. But I'm obsessed. I'm so glad that I decided to pick this up yesterday because it is what I need. Okay, this has been too much exertion for energy. I'm gonna go lie down and finish this book. So I thought I'd give you a little update on Out on a Limb. I finished it. Still gives 6-star feelings. Still amazing. I still loved it to absolute and utter bits. I'm so glad that I picked up this book when I did. In hindsight, I was definitely getting sick on the Thursday when I picked this up after work. I was just so defeated. Turns out I was getting sick because Friday I was just lying in bed reading this book because I felt so ill. Finished the book in less than 24 hours. I'm still obsessed with it, and I will be recommending it to everyone. Anyone and everyone that loves romance. The way that Win and Bo consider each other through this accidental pregnancy, but also consider each other and how their limb differences will fit into parenthood, the way that they are so thoughtful of each other as they enter this new stage of life, becoming co-parents to this little baby. It's beautiful. It's really, really beautiful. And then the epilogues and the wedding day, I was not prepared. I need more people to read it upon its re-release traditionally so that it gets more and more love. And I'm so excited for Out of the Woods. The next book we follow Sarah and Caleb, which they're in this book and they're in love in this book. So I'm confused as to whether it's a second chance romance vibe, but I'm also very excited to see Win and Bo in that book because you best know Win and Sarah are not going to be far from each other. I am going to go pick up Out of the Woods, and I will talk to you shortly when I'm far into that book. Sorry, I've just washed my hair, so it's a little bit wild at the moment. But it's been a couple of days since I last saw you, and I've picked up Out of the Woods by Hannah Bonham Young. I am loving it so far. It is giving 6-star feelings. We are following Sarah and Caleb. Hannah has done such a wonderful, wonderful job in making Sarah's tone of voice and character distinct from Win. We start the book and she has organised a fundraiser, but in her eyes, it has failed. It didn't reach the target that she set for herself. Caleb swoops in to save the day. Sarah is in a funk in this book, and that has continued on into their relationship. They're kind of trying to find their love for each other again, trying to find their rhythm with each other again, and it is such a refreshing thing to hear. So refreshing. Win and Sarah are sitting down over a wine one night, and Sarah's basically saying that the funk that she is in has extended to her relationship with Caleb. So Win suggests, why don't you go for a week-long retreat where you have no phones, you have no technology, and you reconnect? And so they sign up for this 7-day retreat where they're going to be hiking and in the wilderness. It's called Reignite. We know what's going to happen to their romance. We know what's going to happen. I will update you maybe when I'm 75% of the way through because it is quite short. But wish me luck, but I'm obsessed. Please don't mind that my mouth is a little bit red. I've eaten something that I'm a little bit allergic to, it seems, and started to have a little reaction. I am this far into this book. Reading this book has been like returning to a warm hug. Every few chapters or so, we get like flashbacks to when they were growing up, and the grief that she first went through shapes how we see her as a character. So wonderful to see a story when you're not just at the beginning of a relationship, you're actually in the middle of it, you're in the thick of it. Truly, the development of these characters is what you're following. The development of Sarah and getting in touch with what she wants in her life, what she wants for herself. This book has come at such an amazing time because I am looking for full-time jobs in my industry, in graphic design, needing to reflect on what I really want to do, then needing to apply to jobs that don't fit the bill, that don't fit what I want for my life, but I just have to do it. Reading a book about finding your purpose and wanting your purpose, it has made me think on what I want for myself. I just love it. I loved it so much. I honestly don't know whether I want to stay up and read this whole thing. I'm about to tuck into bed and start reading this book. She's done it again. It's another 5 stars. I love this book so much. It is honestly a masterclass in communicating grief, love, long-term relationships, and communication. The relationship between Sarah and Caleb evolved so beautifully. It went from the awkwardness and like that trepidation after you have an argument with someone and you're kind of stepping on eggshells, but you love them so much you don't want to be arguing with them, you just want to be connecting with them. They were stepping around each other almost like they were starting anew, almost like they were returning to their former selves when they were first falling in love. And I loved going into the memories of them first falling in love because it informed how they communicated and how they eventually became stronger than ever and evolved. The ending did shock me. It kept me on my toes, but it still explored very poignant messaging, such as having connections to faith that you have inherited from a parent, but you might not have that faith for yourself, but finding faith in people and finding faith in the people that love you most. I really loved that portion of the ending. I just loved it so much. This is going to be another book that I return to when I just need a nice warm hug from a book. I'm obsessed with the duology. It has conflict that is believable and authentic to the characters, and even if you don't have the same experiences as the characters, you can empathize with them. Hannah Bonham Young does it again. Thank you for coming along on my reading journey of this one because I really loved it so much. Next book we are reading for this video. It's Deep End by Ali Hazelwood. I am so ready to sink my teeth into this book. You have probably already heard the synopsis of this book so many times. We follow Scarlett, and I believe she is a platform diver. She has an injury previous to the book, but she is still struggling to get into the pool, onto the diving board, I suppose. We then meet Lucas, who is the captain of the swim team. Something that has been revealed in the other reviews I've seen of this book is that Lucas is actually dating her best friend. I have only watched of like the synopsis portion of people's reviews prior to reading this book. I don't want a single spoiler. I don't want to even know if people think it's good. I think it's her steamiest book. I'm so here for it because Ali Hazelwood writes the smut scenes so strategically in that it makes sense for the characters that they are being intimate at that time. Pacing of her books and the pacing of her relationships really, really works for me. That's why I loved Not in Love so much. Everyone was like, oh, it's so smutty, but it made sense for the characters through their intimacy to grow a stronger connection. It was through being physical, which is what they were most comfortable with, that they were then able to bare their souls to each other and fall in love and be all like lovey-dovey. It made sense for those characters, and I think this is also the case where it's going to make sense for Scarlett and Lucas. It's going to make sense for them, so I'm very ready. I'm so ready for this book, and I think I'm going to read a little bit tonight. It's Valentine's Day tonight, so I'm going to be FaceTiming with my boyfriend, and then we are getting into this book. Pray for me because my life may be ruined after this book, and we might have 3-5 stars back to back. Do you know how rare that is? Some of my most anticipated books of the year have been these 3, and I'm so excited that 2 of the 3 have been so incredibly successful. I just hope this one lives up to the hype in my own brain because, as I said, I haven't been consuming any reviews of this book. Let's get into Deep End, formerly known as Wet. Sorry, I just also wanted to add, I very much pride myself on my shelves. They are color coordinated, but not rainbow. I've put Deep End there and I'll insert like a better video of it on the screen. Deep End was made to be on that shelf. It is the perfect color of teal, perfect color of purple. I will definitely be sure to film and upload a bookshelf tour soon because I absolutely love my bookshelves and any reason to talk about them more than I already do, I'm going to take it. So if you want to see that, please let me know in the comments. Please let me know how you organize your shelves because I need to know if I'm normal. Anyways, let's get to reading. Just had to pick up a camera because I have a feeling that Scarlett is being taught by Adam from The Love Hypothesis. Listen to this, right? The start of chapter 5, and she's describing all of her classes at college, I guess. She says, computational biology is a piece of cake, even if Dr. Carlson's perennial glower is a little unsettling. She's getting taught by Adam. He's in this book. Every little ounce of content about him is welcome, but I found that a little bit exciting. And I went on a full Ali Hazelwood blurb stalk because I was like, which one? Which one is Dr. Carlson? I need to know which one of her heroes is Dr. Carlson. I'm loving it. I've laughed. I've giggled. I'm 29 pages in. I'm feeling good things. I am feeling good things. The vibes are good, and I think I'm really going to love this one because we don't want to jinx it, but I'm very much liking it. And I was under the impression that Scarlett and Penelope were like best friends. Turns out they're just kind of closer than acquaintances, but not quite like friends. Like Penelope has said, like, I don't know much about you openly. So I think they've just like run in the same circles but don't know anything deep about each other's lives. What a boring update. I mean, I will actually get to reading and I'll get back to you. To our destination, and I am about 30% of the way through Deep End. I think I'm up to the part where like the first natural act would kind of end the introduction. Now we're getting into the good stuff. I really love Scarlett's character and how she's clearly still working through things. Our hero Lucas is very communicative, and I don't know, I just like their dynamic. It's really funny. I'm going to keep reading this one, and I'll probably check in about halfway or when I'm closer to the end. Guys, I needed to update you because I've got less than 100 pages left of Deep End. Oh my god, I don't think I've resurfaced from reading this book. Weirdly, I listen to green noise when I read, so I don't know, it just helps me focus, and I like it better than brown noise or white noise. I haven't surfaced. I was reading so intently. I had my headphones on, I was in my little bubble, and then I look at my watch and I realize I'd been reading for a full hour. It's hot in the right ways. It's loving in the right ways, and they haven't even had, I can't even talk about it. Just love it so much. They have so much chemistry. And they love each other and they trust each other. What the hell? This is insane. I fear she's done it again but better. We're literally looking at 3 5-stars in one video. I'm having the best reading year of my life. This is my 15th, 16th book of the year. I'm so impressed. I think this takes the cake. I'm just so happy. I love this book so much. I just think their chemistry works so well. Their characterization is so good. I'm going to go back and keep reading and consume more of these characters. I quite literally just finished this book. It's 6 stars, it's 7 stars, it's 8, it's 10 out of 5. This video has kept going better and better, but I'm actually kind of numb from finishing this book. It made me feel so many things. That last however many percent was like intense. I'm like, I actually like have no words. I'm going to check back in the morning when I have words. It has been about a week since I finished Deep End, and I did forget to film a clip following me finishing this book. I needed to marinate in the love and joy that I had for this book before I could tell you my final thoughts. I absolutely, well and truly loved this book. It has to be my favorite of this video. It has to be one of my favorites of the year. I think this and The Wedding People are going to be very, very strong contenders for my favorite book of the year. The pacing was excellent. The relationship was really rooted in reality and made sense to me. Their chemistry was really wonderful. Scarlett and Lucas were a compatible pair in more ways than one. They made sense. Their evolution into a love story really made sense to me. I'm so glad that I picked this one up. Ali Hazelwood can do no wrong in my eyes. I have basically read all of her books. I need to read Check-in-Mate and Bride. Those are the only 2 books I think that I have left, and maybe some of her novellas. I haven't really picked up all of those yet. This was such a successful video. I am so happy that I picked up these books when I did. 3 5-stars in a row. I know my taste with my anticipated books of the year, clearly. And we're going to be doing this video over and over again because if this is the first one and I got this much success for my first one, I think we're in for a really fun time. So thank you so much for watching. In the comments below, let me know what your most anticipated reads of this year are going to be, and let me know if you have picked up any of your most anticipated reads and what you thought of them. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next week.